Yo! Hello! Hi, John. Yay! Let me add you.
Oh my God. Am I sideways?
Hello. Yeah.
There we go.
Hello!
Hey, how you doing?
Representing Sound the Groove hat.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna like see the stratosphere over there. It's pretty rad. This is like my first time ever doing like an Instagram live um like combination thing with a friend. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love your background. Like, and the
Yeah.
birds are chirping,
Oh, can you
you
hear
know?
them?
Yes,
Yeah, nature
they
is
get
loving
really
whatever the hell is
loud
happening
actually.
right now. Yeah,
What?
like they
Say
wake
again?
us up. Oh, just nature is loving whatever the hell is happening right now. Like,
You're
I'll
breaking
come out
up.
here. Am I in? Okay, hold on, wait. Let me try
Yeah.
this. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, but it's not you. It's just like connection.
Oh shit, hold on, let me.
Okay, we'll wait for our Jon Avila. Okay, cool. Did you switch to mobile?
Yeah, I just switched to my data. And I
Yeah,
can
I
hear you
do
better
that
than I
sometimes
can.
too. More reliable.
Yeah. Oh shit, Shawn Bryant. So Sean,
Daniel's here
uh,
too. Let's see. Let's wait just a couple of minutes to see like who
yeah,
joins, and then I'll just start and
interrogating me.
yeah. Introduce what we're doing here today. Let me just put the little thing. You can talk to people if you want while I'm doing
Cool.
this.
I see Shawn
All right.
Bryant's here. Shawn Bryant is like original, like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends and I love them all, but Shawn Bryant's like core family that like when I'm 80 years old, I'm still going to be hanging out with Shawn Bryant. Like I was in his wedding and like he actually, when I was starting Groove International, he would let me sleep on his couch. There were like a few select friends that would let me sleep on their couches when I was starting the company, and he was definitely one of them. So good to see you, Shawn. I hope baby Faye is doing great. And yeah, tell Sylvia I said happy birthday.
Okay, let me pin this. Okay, cool.
Frienterviews, episode 1.
How's Daniel doing? Hey, Daniel. I'm not asking you, I'm just asking him actually.
No, no, I see Daniel. Rad.
It's like,
Oh
how's your
God.
son Daniel doing?
Um, about the birds, because we can hear each other now. Yeah, so it was like within the first week of the pandemic going down, like Josh and I, because Josh is my roommate, as you know, we'd come out here and we've got this beautiful balcony that you can see, like there's the stratosphere over there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like we would come out and we would just hear all these noises and chirping, and you're just like, what is that? Because we're so close
Yeah.
to the strip, you never hear nature. And yeah, it's just the birds are
Mm-hmm.
so loud now, and you'll hear them at like 4 in the afternoon. Nature's loving whatever the hell's happening right now, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I hear them every time, like when the sun is down, like I hear them so loud right now. I don't know. I think it's a mating season too.
Oh shoot, it might be. We should look into that and see if it is something
Yeah.
that's going down.
See if you can assist, help
Yeah,
with something.
it really puts into
Provide some
perspective what
food.
we're really hearing right now. So we'll see. Cool.
All
I see
right,
Matt
so
Harrison. Cool.
I'm just gonna start right now.
Okay.
This is my new podcast kind of show that I decided to do. It's called Frienterviews. And my first guest today is Jonathan Avila from Groove International. And I'll give you a word right now to introduce yourself and tell people what you're doing. And whenever you're ready.
Cool. So yeah, I'm to Le Mans viewers who don't know me. I'm Jon Avila. I book concerts for a living. I started a company a long time ago called Sound the Groove. I started it when I didn't really have a stable home, or when I needed a job, and now that company books concerts all across the country. We employ and book concerts in places like New York, Seattle, Las Vegas, all over Southern California, and yeah, that's who I am. I'm Jon Avila.
It's amazing. That's why I actually picked you as my first guest, because I'm like so proud of your story, of you, how from basically like I don't want to say nothing, but you built this company that right now is like, not only it started in San Diego, but um, it started expanding, and I remember it was Orange County, Long Beach, Los Angeles, New York, now Vegas. So hopefully we'll see you like around the US one of these days, like Seattle,
Yeah.
Miami. Maybe I'll dance in Miami.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, our home base was San Diego for a while. We just expanded into Seattle right before, unfortunately, this whole pandemic went down. And we're going to be expanding into a lot of other places. Like we're expanding throughout the Sun Belt, like Austin, and over to. Speaking of Miami, we're expanding into Florida next year. So, yeah, it's been really cool because it started off as just this tiny little idea in a coffee shop. Just this weird idea, like I had a crazy idea to start a company, and now we're all over the country, which is kind of cool. So we work with a lot of really amazing, beautiful people, and I'm really thankful for that.
It's probably a good opportunity right now to do like something live. You can stream it around the US and people can watch all these concerts, and yeah. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
wrong.
we have, and I hate people that use the word literally wrong, but we literally have thousands of clients, and a lot of them are streaming live music right now. So if they're tagging Sound the Groove in their announcements, like, hey, we've got like a live, stream coming up, like we've been like regramming that just to make sure we get the word out about our clients. We actually have a Spotify right now too, which the Spotify is literally just the clients that we had booked right before the pandemic went down, and it's all the people who unfortunately got their shows canceled.
Yeah.
So that's been kind of cool.
So yesterday, I don't know if you knew that or not, but I went to your Spotify, the one that you told me, probably like a little over a week ago, and I like went through all the singers. Some of them were like really great, like I really liked them, and I found this guy, Malik the Freak. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is gonna be perfect for my jazz class. So I took his song and did a little choreo to that. But
Nice. Yeah, Malik, I believe he's one of our LA artists. I believe I
mhm.
could be wrong on that. But yeah,
I'm not
he's
sure.
phenomenal.
I think he's in LA, but I haven't like had chance to ask him. Yeah,
Gotcha.
maybe he'll see this later on. We'll see. But anyways, um, this so Frienterviews will consist out of 7 questions that I'm gonna ask you, anyone actually, like all the guests. So where are you now?
Right now, I am in Las Vegas, Nevada. When we first got on this, as people can see, you can see the stratosphere over
Yeah,
there.
and the weather is
Um,
amazing.
oh my God, it's beautiful. Like it's just because Nevada, it gets outrageously hot. So we're kind of in that weird period right now where it's just kind of perfect, and I can tell you within a week it's going to be absolutely god awful. So right now it's actually pretty good.
Well, I know that you used to live in San Diego, and how was that transition for you? Like,
It's been good. I think when I moved to San Diego, the thing that I loved about it was that everybody was just filled with such positive energy, and like everybody I met was this beautiful soul, and like I might just be meeting the right people, but similar things happened when I moved out to Vegas. Like I just kept bumping into the right people. Just everybody out here is just to the core, just a really hardworking, just positive being. So I've been really stoked about moving out here. Unfortunately, within a month of moving out here, we're all locked in our houses now, and we can't really go out, but everybody I've met has been absolutely beautiful, and I love it.
nice, awesome, and you're always like friendly, which leads to me to the next question. And can you tell the story? How did we meet?
We met, and I hope we have the same story. So yeah, like I said, I own a company called Sound the Groove, and we book concerts all across the country. And I met you because we needed an atmosphere model for one of our breast cancer benefits called the Pink Ribbon Riot. And we hired you for that show. Unfortunately, I don't get to go to all the shows because it's common for us to book multiple shows in one night. So you were actually working for the company for a few shows. And eventually I did go into one of the shows that you were working, and you were working the front door. I remember that. And I just walked up and I'm like, hey, like, I don't know if I told you I owned the company at the time, but I was just like, hey, like, it's me. I'm the one who hired you. And you're like, you're just, speaking of positive energy, you were just filled with positive energy. And I think that we've been like besties ever since. Like, we've hung out a lot. We've gone on vacations together. Like, you know, I've definitely, I went to a couple of your dance performances in theater. And yeah, we've been homies ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
And I
hair is like
remember.
flowing, Diddy. Getting so long. But yeah, that's how we met. We met through the company.
Cool. Yeah. All I remember about you, like honestly, I don't remember the very first time we met. But for some reason I thought it's my first event, like Pink Ribbon event. But anyways, if you're saying, yeah, now I remember that you weren't there actually, but I remember like ever since like we met the first day, you were like so friendly. Like we've been friends for like quite some time now. Yeah, and ever since like that's just, I think that's what attracts people and makes them want to be friends with you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I remember that. It was just positive energy. I remember the first event that you worked was, yeah, it was the Pink Ribbon Riot. It was our breast cancer benefit. We ended up raising a lot of money for, I believe it was American Cancer Society at the time. And you were
And
working
I'm
with
gonna ask
Megan
you that
Nicotera.
question later too.
Cool.
So, speaking of quarantine right now, what is your favorite thing to do during the quarantine? What's your like
Um,
survival guide?
I'm doing three things right now. So, one, as far as Sound the Groove goes, I'm just kind of preparing it for its inevitable expansion. Before the pandemic went down, we had a lot of plans to expand into a lot of places on the East Coast, a lot of places in the Sun Belt. I mentioned Florida. Wow, it really is flailing my hair right now. Nobody can get a haircut right now, and it's beautiful. Um, anyway, so I'm preparing for the company's inevitable expansion. So once things return to a state of normalcy, you know, we'll just kind of pick up where we left off. As far as me personally, I've been doing two things. One, I've been working out a lot more. I used to go to the gym every week, but now the gyms are closed, so now I'm doing like a lot of like just you know, at-home exercises with your own body weight, which has been really like challenging. And then also, I found like an old school N64 with like these old video games from my childhood. So like when I'm not working on the company or not, you know, working out, I'm just taking a trip down like memory lane and playing like Donkey Kong and like Mario. And I learned that like old school video games are like way harder than the video games of today. Like they weren't messing around back then. So yeah, I've just been kind of keeping myself distracted with working out and going down nostalgia lane, really.
Well, I can't relate to that because I'm not good at video games.
It's fine.
All right. Is there any movies or TV shows you watched and you were like so impressed by it and you want to kind of recommend?
Um, During quarantine, I've probably just been watching a lot more BoJack Horseman and Archer, just because I love dry humor. And BoJack Horseman is kind of actually a pretty serious conversation about mental health, which I think is beautiful. But as far as like things that I've been really impressed by, I think to this day probably one of the most recent impressive shows that I've seen is probably Black Mirror, just because it's very it's a complete mind, you know,
Is it a movie
screw.
or a show?
Black Mirror is a show. It can be described probably as like a really, really darker version of Twilight Zone. Like each story is just its own thing.
Okay,
But yeah. But no, I've
cool.
been watching a lot more comedy recently, I'd say.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. And what what's the thing you discovered about yourself or world or like any cool fact, like something new during this quarantine?
Shoot. I think as far as myself goes, I've probably just reaffirmed what I kind of already knew about myself. And something about me is that I need to be working to be happy. Like I went on vacation to Spain once for a week, and it was beautiful. I drank sangria. I checked out these beautiful cathedrals. But by day 4 or 5 of this vacation, I was just losing my mind. Like I needed to be working. And so this quarantine, something very similar happened. Like, the quarantine happened. I started drinking more tequila. I was playing card games. And just within a week, I just realized like, oh my God, I have to be doing something constructive in order to be happy. So really all I've learned is what I kind of already knew about myself, is that I'm kind of a workaholic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of same, but yeah. Is there any advice you want to give to people to stay motivated, to stay active? Because I know that during this quarantine, it's like really easy to just like get lazy and just spend time on couch. And yeah, so
Um,
what?
Probably two things. One, I think it's really important right now for people to understand that it's okay to not be okay. Because it is obviously a very scary time. It's completely unprecedented. There's a lot of people that are trying to get unemployment who can't get unemployment. There's a lot of people hurting right now, and our government is definitely kind of failing us right now. And I think it's really important for people to remember that it's okay to not be okay. And the second thing that I would suggest is just to kind of fall into some type of routine. Like if you're having trouble getting out of bed, I've been there, where you just wake up and you just have no desire, want, need. Like there's just this whole mentality that dives into your brain of like, what's the point? Like, and if you get to that point where you are having trouble getting out of bed or having trouble getting off the couch, I would just suggest to create some sort of routine. Even if you don't want to follow the routine, when you wake up, get out of bed, get some food in your
Yeah,
system, even if you don't feel like eating. And when you're done eating, maybe put on a show. Don't go back in bed and watch that show, but watch that show either from your living room. If you don't have a living room, then, sit on the floor next to your bed and watch that
yeah,
show. And when you're done with the show, work out, and if you're not a big workout junkie, maybe do 30 jumping jacks. But whatever you do, fall into some type of routine so you can kind of create this system down where even if you're not feeling great, just follow this routine, and that'll definitely help you kind of stumble or just crawl out of the funk. Because there's beautiful people, well, everybody's beautiful, but like there's people like yourself that's filled with positive energy, and we see that radiate every day on your Instagram. There's people like myself who's been interviewed a couple times, and there's that positive energy, but not everybody has the ability to exude that. And so I think it's important for people to know that it's okay to not be okay, and if you're not okay, try to develop a routine and help yourself out of that.
absolutely. I think that's really great advice. I've been trying to do that too, like with my online classes, like it's sometimes it can be hard. You're like, should I do it or not? Like, especially on Sundays, like, you're thinking, oh, should I do the schedule for like next week? But then, like, I do that, and like, that's what pushes me, and that what makes me like work my brain with like choreography and keeps me motivated. And even if there's not a lot of people to join, but it's just something that makes me work, makes my brain work, and not to just melt.
And it is important for you, people like you, to keep doing what you're doing too, because people do see, even if they're not able to hop on the live session right away, they do see what you're doing. They do see the schedule of things that you're doing, and you yourself are inspiring in that way. People see, what's going on. I mean, it's no secret. It's definitely a very scary time right now. So when they see people being active and conducting Frienterviews or doing dance classes and involving other people, that positive energy is definitely helping other people, get out of bed or just, push them in the right direction. So
Mm,
keep doing what you're doing.
thank you. Um, Anything you would like to add at this time? Like, I know, as we mentioned earlier, like Groove always donates stuff. Like my first event was a pink ribbon event. And then I know that every Christmas you guys take donations like food and toys, and then you distribute it to kids in need. So anything you want to add, or like anything your company might need right now, or yeah, just let us know
Yeah.
if you want to add anything.
Well, that's actually I totally forgot about the Toys for Tots thing that we were doing. Yeah, so Groove does have a long history of doing a lot of charity work. Like you said, or like we said, you and I met because we were doing a breast cancer benefit. We raised a lot of money for breast cancer awareness. We've done a lot of work for wounded warriors and wounded veterans coming back home. We actually got a award for how much we donated to wounded warriors one year. And yeah, we also do around Christmas. We gather toys and food, and we end up donating it to kids in need. Right now, Groove is kind of in a holding pattern. We really can't book concerts right now. So what we have been doing is we have been selling our hats, which you see right here. This is one of them. And we're selling our hats. So we're selling all of our hats in our inventory. You can go to Sound the Groove on Instagram, or you can go to Sound the Groove on Venmo. We're selling our hats for 20 bucks. And we're, this weekend actually, for every hat that's purchased, we're going to be donating $5 per purchase to some sort of charity. We're going to do some research and see which charity is best, but we're hoping to get that money to help get supplies to medical workers. So we're going to do some research because, of course, some charities are better than others. And to break it down, like the hat costs like $5 to make, it costs $5 to ship, so we have $10 left. So we're basically splitting that, and we're just going to donate it to whatever charity we can find to help medical workers right now this weekend. So yeah, if anybody who's watching wants to go to Sound the Groove on Instagram, Sound the Groove on Venmo, you'll just find a bunch of stuff about our hats, and you're welcome to contribute.
Yeah, and it's amazing that you guys are doing this even like during these hard times, because I know you're not doing concerts, so like a lot of your profits are basically cut right now. So like this is amazing that even during this time you're like willing to do stuff like that. And lastly, I'm gonna ask you to do a little pick your go-to fun movement. And while you're doing that, I'll be right back.
Fun movement.
Yeah, just
Well, technically you're leaving, so I could say that I did a move.
no, you gotta teach it to me first.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right.
Hey! You got
Hey.
the hat. It's Hollywood. I love it.
Yeah.
We're actually running out of Hollywood hats. I think we only have like
You
maybe 10 left.
you guys have all stars there, huh? Everybody wants to be in Hollywood. Not a
Yeah, I
surprise.
know. It's funny. Everybody who is in Hollywood or just LA normally doesn't buy the Hollywood hats, but everybody outside of LA all buys the Hollywood hats. It's kind of funny.
That's
And then
funny.
San Diego represents pretty hard. Like people say people in San Diego, even if it's only one person, they'll buy like 3 hats because they want San Diego hats. It's funny how the demographics work.
Yeah, no, I think it's like it's cool. Like if you're in another state and you have that San Diego hat, and it's just like, yeah, no, you're representing San Diego.
Yeah.
Like you right now.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for wearing my hat.
Yay. All right, what's your move? Show me your
So
move.
my moves, my God. So I don't know
I
much
know.
about dance. I don't know much about dance. Although as a kid I did take cotillion, but um, so whenever I dance, I just kind of go to like the basic salsa moves. Because
Yeah.
I honestly don't know much. I don't know how to dance. I'm usually emulating the DJ. Because if the DJ is
Not
jumping up
asking
and
you to
down,
do
I
it
will
for
do that.
you.
Or I'll stick to the basic salsa dance moves. So like well, you can't see my feet, but
Yeah.
like it's my Respect Women t-shirt, by the way. So like the basic salsa, it's actually very easy for anybody to listen. You just move 1 foot forward and then kind of rock back and then back. So it's just like 1, 2, 3, and then
Yeah.
2, 2, 3. That's all it is. So
All
from the
right.
side, all you have to
So
do.
I'm gonna do it too.
Okay.
And wait,
So it's
I
just
can set up my
1,
camera for like
2,
a full
3.
length.
Can't move back. And then
I'm just
just
gonna be
2,
squatting like
2,
that
3.
doing salsa.
Well, it's all in the hips, yeah. So like, cause I don't know how to dance. So like, whenever I'm with somebody, if I'm dancing, like you and I went to Ensenada together. Like, whenever I'm with somebody, like, I'll go forward, back, 3, 1,
Sounds
2, 3,
all
2,
right.
2,
So
3. That's all
okay,
it is.
I got it, but Let me turn some amazing music on, and we can do it together.
All right.
And how we end this little friend review. All right.
Front of you is just, yeah.
Okay. You ready?
That's all it is. You always keep your arms this way, too. You don't want to ever assume that somebody wants to be touched, so just keep your arms to yourself. Yeah.
You hear the music?
Barely, yeah.
Hey!
Yeah. Loving it. So yeah, it's a basic 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Anybody can use it. If you're ever in the club and you don't know how to dance, just like do the basic salsa moves. Just 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5. Which salsa is counted in a very weird way,
Dude,
which I'm sure you know.
you just gave us a salsa instruction. Are you sure you want to start online classes? Salsa on one with Jonathan Avila.
Oh God, yeah, learn how to salsa merengue with Jon Avila. I would have to relearn a lot of the things because I used to know how to tango, salsa merengue, swing dance, although a lot of it I really don't remember. But I do remember the basic moves to salsa. So if I'm ever out and I'm dancing with somebody and I don't know what to do, I just do my basic, salsa moves, and it never backfires. Everybody's like, "Oh, cool, you know how to dance," and you disappear into the crowd. The only time it's ever backfired is if I was dancing with somebody who knows how to salsa, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, you know how to salsa," and they'll like grab you and start doing all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, "Oh God, what do you do?"
Well, I
So,
remember
yeah.
our funny tango.
Yeah, we tangoed in, I know, and actually if we look back, we probably weren't doing it properly, but we tangoed in Tin Roof, San Diego, which is a small business that's kind
Yes.
of,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Yes. Definitely.
So, well, I don't know if they're a small business, but I know all the people that work there are definitely part of the community. But yeah, tango
All right.
dancing, that was fun. There's actually a photo of us, like, full
I
on,
know.
like,
Yes.
it's pretty good.
Funny. So let's give a couple of minutes if anyone wants to ask any questions. I remember going back to questions. Someone's asked, how's Vegas without casinos?
Okay, so Vegas, and this is the number one question I get is how is the Strip? And the Strip is empty right now. Actually, there's no bars or restaurants open anywhere unless it's takeout and the delivery people will bring it to you. But yeah, Vegas is very quiet right now. If you go down the Strip, because you can exercise, so I have run through the Strip a couple times, there is nothing on the Strip. It's really weird. The only things on the Strip right now are police cars that are in front of the entrances of each casino. I think they're just kind of making a statement like, don't come in here. There's a couple other runners, a couple exercisers just running, up and down the Strip. And then there's a lot of photographers and their girlfriends right now. But other than that, there's nothing. Like, it's just empty. It's like something out of like Fallout. Like, it's really, really eerie. Yeah, yeah, eerie is the only way I could describe it. It's very empty. There's nothing going on. You
And
could run down the Strip and not see anybody.
and speaking of that, like I don't know if you live like exactly on Strip or like a little bit further, but like can you usually hear all the sounds like music and loud noises from?
Um, I'm about a mile from the Strip, and luckily enough, like all the clubs are inside for the most part, so we can't really hear much. But it is definitely quieter than normal. Like we were talking about earlier, we can hear all the birds chirping. Like we started this, and you can hear them all, chirping. It's definitely a lot quieter than usual.
Okay. Cool. Well, that was such an amazing experience for me to have you as my guest. And yeah, thanks for doing it. Thanks for agreeing. And that was my first episode. And join in next time, next Saturday for more. Thank you so much. And I'm going to continue doing that salsa move you said.
Just the basic salsa dancing. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. And bye, everyone. Have a
Bye,
good day.
everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yay.
See you, buddy.
See ya.